Mike Owens here. Today I'm joined by Moicano, Renato Moicano, who's coming off one of the biggest wins of his career Saturday night when he squared off against Drew Dober. Renato, always a pleasure to chat with you, my man. How are things with you
Thank
today?
you, my brother. Me too. Thank you. Everything's good. How about you?
Always good to chat with you today, brother. First and foremost, congratulations, as I mentioned earlier. How are your emotions after such a big win?
Feeling good, feeling great. A win is always good. So, thanks God, I got the W. Everything is fine.
Have you had chance to watch the fight back yet? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Yes, yes, yes. Was a tough fight to Dobe. I knew he was tough, but I was surprised with his grappling. Like he was not letting me advance. Like to get it on the mount, take the back. So he did pretty okay on the grappling.
Out of interest, obviously you've been out for a little while. I think we talked about this last time. Did you feel any ring rust at all about making your return?
Little bit, little bit. To be honest with you, on the fight week, I was a little bit nervous. I was feeling anxious about the fight, anxious about returning to the cage. So, at some degree, a little bit, but not much too. Not like that. Not like I don't think my performance was how do I say that? I don't think I did bad because of that. But I mean on the week I was a little bit like I say before, like nervous, anxious. So maybe was the ring rust.
It felt like it was 1-1 going into the third round. And then I've seen a lot of people online say when Drew chases that takedown at the beginning, middle of the third round, and you obviously get the reversal, end up on top. That was kind of a mistake by him because obviously with your jiu-jitsu, you could then stay on top and obviously get the victory. Did you feel like that in the moment? That was maybe a mistake on his part?
To be honest with you, I didn't even know he was shooting for takedowns.
Mm,
I didn't even know how I got on the top. So I did at the time my mind was I didn't know if I got the takedown. I didn't know what happened. To be honest with you, I just saw that when I was rewatching the
mm.
fight.
Yeah, no, 100%. When you heard Bruce Buffer say 29-28, was there any worry in the back of your mind that the judges were going to
Uh,
go the other way?
Not really, not really, not really. Because in the end of the day, I got the takedowns. I
Mm,
was on the top on the first and on the second, and the first on the third. But on the second, I took him down really early on the round. Like I score a very easy takedown. Uh, I got reverse and he take me down on the end of the round. But even rewatching the fight, I didn't think there was. Uh, I don't think he won the second round.
mm,
But anyways, I knew that I had won.
mm. Any major injuries at all? I mean, I can see your eye there. Any major injuries to
No,
be aware
just
of?
the eye, just the eye. Yeah, it's just the eye, just black eye a little bit, but everything's okay.
So no broken bones, just maybe some
No,
your looks on us go for a couple of days.
yeah, yeah, no injury at all. Just a little bit like the black eye.
Mm. Well, obviously you get the victory, and then immediately Money Moicano comes out when we get on the mic, and there's a lot to unpack about what you said in those 2 or 3 minutes taking the mic off DC. First and foremost, congratulations on your half brother, the birth of
Thank you
you.
so much.
Um, where did that come from? Out of interest? Was that something that was just on your mind because he's obviously just been born the day before, or was that something that you planned to say? Where did that whole part of your speech come from?
Like couple weeks ago, my one of my uncles called me and he said, "Hey, uh, say something about your dad. Your dad is going to be proud if you say if you dedicate the fight to him. Everybody's going to be watching our family." And I say, "Okay." And that was in the back of my mind, but I never really planned anything.
Mm,
I just let it flow, let it happen, and it's funny that
mm.
way.
I know we talked about the last time we spoke about your family. I think you have a child now as well, but how close are you with the other part of your family who I think still resides in Brazil? Do you get to go over to see them fairly regularly?
Yes, yes. I don't go as much as I want because, of course, the prices of the flight tickets and the training camps and the injuries and all that stuff. But I'm planning to go like 1 week, 2 weeks from now to go to Brazil, relax a little bit, see my family, see my little brother, and enjoy a little bit the life in Brazil.
Has he been named yet? Out of interest?
João Gabriel.
Joao Gabriel.
Yeah,
Happy
it's
birthday and
like
congratulations to the
like
Moicano family.
Gabriel, John Gabriel, something like that. João
John
Gabriel.
Gabriel. John
Yeah,
Gabriel.
yeah.
Are you keeping the promise for Moicano 3.0? You did make a promise in the cage.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. I'm not so sure about that, Was more for the moment and stuff,
Mm,
just to be funny, was I was not really thinking. I just want to say something about my dad being a father again, and I just try to make funny, but who knows?
mm.
Maybe.
But out
I want to have more kids for sure, but I don't know if right now it's going to be the right moment.
But out of interest, you do see him, and this is what we talked about last time, is with these moments on the mic, with you, what you do on your YouTube channel, when you come on these interviews and you speak your mind, you do seem to be aware of like self-marketing and that a fighter has to kind of self-market in that way. Do you think is that kind of been a focus of yours over the last couple of years to try and build your brand and your profile a little bit?
A little bit, but in the end of the day, I think I aiming to
Mm,
try to speak more the truth.
yes.
That's what I'm really doing. Even on my life, when people ask me something, usually, uh, back in the day, I didn't want to hurt anybody. I didn't want to be the bad
Mm,
guy or this or that. But nowadays, I'm focused more on how I'm feeling, really, how
mm,
I'm really feeling, and just say, because in the end of the day, is easier.
mm.
Just tell the truth.
Because you don't say things to offend people. Like a former opponent of yours, Calvin Cater, is a good friend of mine, and he
Yeah,
told me when he fought you, he tried to dislike you because he wanted to get in his head that you were his opponent, but he just
yeah,
couldn't. He just couldn't do it. So with the things that you say on the mic, the things you say on your YouTube channel, you can tell it's what you believe. You're not saying it to try
yeah.
and get views, you know?
No, no, I know, and I don't have any point to try to hate somebody or to try to. Of course, sometimes, let's say like Paddy, I call
Mm,
I call him fatty and the stuff and this and that, but I truly believe that he's not on my level.
mm,
You know, when I was fighting guys like Kevin Qatar and all these guys, I knew we were like close, like
mm,
but to me, Paddy Pimblett is a guy that UFC is protecting. He is a guy that they trying to market him, and maybe he can get better. But right now, especially after the fight against Tony Ferguson and Jerry Gordon, I don't think he is on the same level of people on the top 15. And if they ask me, I'm going to say that. But I don't wanna disrespect him. That's not on my business. Like trying to talk shit on him.
mm.
But sometimes it's the game, right?
Mm. Obviously, Paddy has undefeated in the UFC. He's 5-0. Do you think he deserves a ranked fight against someone like yourself next?
I think, like I say, because he's so popular
Mm,
and UFC is trying so bad to market him, I think that makes sense. Otherwise eventually he gonna lose, and I think it's better if he lose to somebody that has some momentum, some attention, than to somebody outside the rankings.
Is there anybody in the top 15 who you would favor Paddy to beat at this moment in time?
Patty,
Mm,
maybe Bobby Green.
mm,
Maybe Bobby Green is a good fight for him,
mm,
but other than that, I don't see many fights that he can really be
mm.
competitive.
You mentioned two names after the fight. You've obviously mentioned Paddy and you also mentioned Beneil Dariush. Two guys at completely different points in their career. If you could get one of those two fights, which one would you prefer?
Like I say, I like these both fights because they are different. If I beat Dariush, I am moving to the rankings and I'm trying to get more high profile fighters.
Mm,
But at the same time, if you fight Paddy Pimblett, people gonna know you, because even though I am 10 years in UFC, he has more followers. People
mm,
know him because his character, because his persona. So I think we have to give him credit for that. He
mm,
is a different guy. Like he is a guy that people like.
mm,
So if I fight him, I'm going to steal his hype. So you see, it's two different ways, but at the
mm.
same time, I'm good with both.
Yeah, no, 100%. I want to turn that conversation to something else that you mentioned in your post-fight interview, and that was you called out a guy by the name of the MMA Guru. Who
Yeah.
is he, and what has he done to upset
You
you?
you don't know who's the MMA guru?
I don't know.
He
No.
he's a YouTuber and a streamer
Ah,
that's very popular. He's very popular on the MMA scene, and and before the fight, he messaged me asking for an interview, but he was saying, "I think you're going to lose to Drew Dober."
ah,
you know, and let's do an interview and let's do that. And I just find that disrespectful, and that's why I call on the on the on the mic. But at the same time, I respect what he's doing. You know, YouTube is becoming huge. People still don't realize the power of the internet, because like when you are watching TV and seeing like the commentators from the TV, from the ESPN, they have a boundary, right? They cannot
mm,
go further because they are on TV.
mm,
But on the YouTube, you can be yourself. You can talk like you're talking to your friends. So that's why I think YouTube is growing popularity between MMA fans.
mm,
And this guy, like him or not, he's a pioneer. He's a guy that uh, getting a lot of eyeballs. And like I say, nobody does success for nothing. You know, if
mm.
you people like you, it's because something.
So this guy messaged you for an interview, but then said in the same message that he thought you were going to lose to Drew Dober.
Yeah, and he say like something like, "I think you little tan," because there is a joke about Dober beating people that are black because
Ah, yes.
he beat like he knocked Bobby Green and beat McKinney or something like
Mm,
that, and he say, "Hey, you getting too much sun, you little tan, so I bet Dober will knock you out or something like that." And I thought like, man, this is extremely disrespectful.
mm,
I'm not even gonna answer this guy, right?
mm,
And then I went to fight, but then I remember on the interview and I call him out, you know. But I think it's just like I say, the internet way, the YouTube way. People are finding new ways to communicating, and like you or not, this is probably the future.
mm. Out of interest, what are your DMs and your messages like from fans? Are they mostly positive? Do you get some hate? Where would you say the average message is from your fans?
I don't know because I don't look at it. I don't
Okay.
look it up.
Mm,
I don't look it up anymore. Back in the day, I used to be obsessed with what people were thinking about me, but nowadays I don't really care. So now
mm,
and then I watch some messages, but overall, I don't know what's the opinion about me,
mm,
and I hope I continue like that because
mm.
uh, this is a tough sport to keep sane, you know,
Yeah.
because when you win, you have a good speech. I'm pretty sure if I go to my direct message, everybody's saying, "Hey, you amazing, you awesome,"
Mm,
and this and that. If I lose the next one, I'm done. So I try to not keep it up with the comments.
mm. Of course, that makes sense. So you've won your last two now. You've beaten guys below you in the rankings. You guys, you given an opportunity to guys to try and steal your ranking. You feel like you should be rewarded with a guy above you in the rankings next, I presume.
I think so. I think, like I said, I think Beneil Dariush is a fight that makes sense. You know, I think UFC, they always try to do matchups that make sense, and me
Mm,
versus Beneil Dariush, I think is the fight to make, no matter what, right? Especially in Brazil, UFC 301. I think it's going to be amazing. I
mm.
want to fight in Brazil. Let's see what UFC wants to do.
So you want the Brazil card in May, obviously also a return to fans, since you were very critical about fighting in the Apex. The next fight, but we've got the opponent, but it's like a game of. Do you have Cluedo, Renato?
Do you have what?
Do you have the board game Cluedo? Have you heard of the board game Cluedo?
No.
So it's an English board game about a murder, and you each play different characters, and you have to pick the murder weapon, the where they were killed, and the person who killed them. And it's a little bit,
I think I know
yeah,
detective, right?
yes, detective. So it's a little bit
Yes.
similar. We've got the opponent, Beneil Dariush. we've got the location, Brazil, and we have the arena. We want a full arena. Does that sound like a good wish list to
That
you?
sounds, yeah, that sound like a good, that sound like Brazil. Beneil Dariush, I think he's not in a position that he can choose a lot his opponents. So
Mm,
he's coming from two losses. He's not that young anymore, and people are trying to fight him all over. So I don't know what UFC is going to do, but I don't think Beneil Dariush has that many choices, you know.
mm.
So let's see. Let's see what UFC thinks about that, because in the end of the day, they choose, right?
Yes. Well, last couple of questions from me, and as always, thank you for your time today, brother. I wanted to get some predictions on some of the big fights going on in your division before we finish. So, UFC 299, Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis. How do you see that one playing out?
Man, that's tough. That's tough. Don't ask me the question, my brother. But, but man, it's tough. I'm rooting for Dustin Poirier. I like him, Dustin Poirier, but I think it's a very hard fight for him, especially because the guy changed level. This guy Benoit Saint-Denis, he's so good at changing levels. His last fight against Frevola and against Thiago Moises, I was very impressive because
Mm,
he's very aggressive, and but still he's aggressive, but still shooting for takedowns, decent ground game. I don't know about his cardio. Of course, it's going to be a 5 round, so that's favorite Dustin Poirier. But if I had to put my money, I would put him on BSD. But I hope I'm wrong. I
mm.
really hope I'm wrong.
UFC 300, Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan.
Another very hard fight to predict,
Mm,
but I will say Charles. Charles is big. Charles is good striker, good grappler. Ahmad Sarukian has the advantage on wrestling, of
mm,
course, but I don't know. Charles Oliveira is a tough fight for everybody.
mm. And last one, the BMF title between Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway.
Unfortunately, I think Justin Gage will beat Max Holloway. You know, he's heavy, heavy hands. Max Holloway is not shooting for takedowns.
Mm,
5 rounds. I think Justin Gage will beat Max Holloway.
I love it. Well, Renato, it was great to see you back in action Saturday night. Even better to see you get the win. Enjoy it and have a great rest of your day. And thank you as always for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, my friend. See you next time.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.